What's going on, traders? This is Jack with the Trading Tribe. Welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to go through kind of a tip or trick, if you will, that I use on a lot of my swing trades, which is really on the side of managing the trade on the win side. So once swing trades go kind of in our favor, I have a real set of examples here based on some trades that I'm in this week. I'm up about $10,000. You can see here on the left of open profits, a little bit under 10 at this point, I guess, because we are seeing a little pullback in real time, but was able to take indexes higher this week and want to break down kind of how I am managing the trade, but also show you guys on how I'll kind of adjust my management as that trade gets closer and closer to target. If you don't mind, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel for a lot more content like this, and let's get into the video. In this case, like I mentioned, I did end up taking the NASDAQ and the ES futures, equity index futures, all the way back up here. So I've been long both of these contracts all week long here. We can see here on the left side, I have kind of my hourly chart of ES. We also have kind of the same thing happening for NQ. So if we switch over there, NQ looks very similar. But really both had a really nice pullback this week, one of the first big pullbacks of the year. So not too far, it didn't even come to the 50-day moving average. You can see it got kind of close, but it didn't quite get low enough to touch that moving average. But essentially it had a pretty good drop. And in a bull market, what I like to do is I like to wait for that drop to stop, essentially. And then I like to try to kind of ride that back potentially to all-time highs. And so that's really what I've done this week and how I've been able to scoop up about $10,000 on at least the second piece of this. So I actually took a trade on Sunday night and kind of rode it up to this key level and ended up selling on Monday. And then I got back in essentially yesterday, but today is August 7th, and you can see obviously we picked back up after we kind of did that bull flag yesterday, and now obviously that's been good for longs. And so I'm in with multiple contracts on NASDAQ, and then I'm in on just one contract for ES. Here are my average prices for those trades, and then where both of those trades are right now, as well as what those open profits look like in my ThinkorSwim account. In this case, though, for management, what I like to do, and I have a couple videos here on the channel too. If you don't have a bunch of context here, you can always go back and look at some of my other kind of basics to management type videos. But I wanted to show here how I do it real time, because these trades are now kind of getting closer and closer to target. And so this is where I'll start doing what I like to call kind of like choking the trade or getting a lot tighter on my stop loss, just because at this point, right, if the trade does turn around, I want to make sure I have a good payday, right? Because this is taking a lot of effort and the trade is getting really close to kind of where I wanted it to go. And so you'll notice here on the right, on the intraday time frame at least, right, we do have a pretty tight stop loss, just under a couple of these indicators, if you will, on the 1-minute chart, under kind of that past low that we just saw kind of cause this recent push and momentum. And so I really do have this stop loss almost like as tight as possible at this point, that I view as kind of a safe-ish spot. So I don't have it too tight where it's just some random spot, but I do have it kind of under that last low on this intraday time frame. And that is what I'll call kind of choking it. And the benefits here is obviously if indexes do turn around today, I'm going to be able to kind of capture as much of this trade as possible, right? Some traders will kind of leave their stop loss at break even or leave their stop loss in the risk column for the entire trade. And I don't mind those two decisions, but those can be tricky because the break even people, a ton of trades turn around before they go to target. And those people are never making money on those, which is tough, right? And then the people that never adjust their stop, same kind of concept, right? All of those trades that turn around, right? They're not getting paid on. And so mine's almost that sweet spot of in the middle where I am kind of tightening that and making sure I'm not going to lose here, but I'm also right? Making sure I'm going to actually take a win here. And it obviously wouldn't be as big of a win as if we do go back to all-time highs, but I was still able to capture more than half of kind of this move off to the hourly chart there on the left, which from a swing trading perspective, right, is pretty much the meat of the move, right? As long as you're capturing a pretty good chunk of that leg higher, that's really all I care about. Just wanted to show kind of how I'm able to do this, and I really focus on it when we get pretty close to target. So kind of as I woke up today, kind of realized, wow, we're getting pretty close to that target. That's where kind of my mindset will shift from, maybe risking a little bit or being break even to really trying to make as much as I can on the trade in case we turn around. Hopefully this really helps and kind of helps you as a swing trader or day trader. It really doesn't matter. You can use the concepts on the day trading side too. It's just a lot quicker, obviously, but you can absolutely have break-even stops and get tighter on day trades as they get closer and closer to the intraday targets as well. If you do have any questions, feel free to leave those down below, and we'll be back next time. Thanks, everyone.